know how I do.
Siren disjointed the fight and came back in favor of Fnatic.
Greetings and welcome in. Time to get the next week started, and boy, do we got a good one on the way right now. Team Tinker to lead off their doubleheader here today, taking on Team Empire. They'll meet up with Alliance later on, in fact, following this best of three, so they've got a lot of action on the way, and hopefully you guys are settling in, because I think it's going to be pretty good. Welcome in once again, Trout, to help break down the series. Let's take a look, Trout, at these two teams and how they stack up man for man, and more importantly, how they stack up in Western play. Tinker's played two best of threes, and let's be real, they have not looked on point. They're sitting at 0-2, and they're desperately in need of a win, lest they get close to the halfway mark and not have a notch in the win column.
Inconsistencies with, I think, leadership in this team. I've seen them with a different drafter every single time. Well, like the last few times I've seen them play. Today is actually full, but the last couple times it was Koikfa at EGM. Actually, Koikfa and PyCat. So I think there's a little bit of a lack of leadership right there. Honestly, at this instance for Team Tinker, they need to get that switched up in their favor.
I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, when you talk about individual skill, Tinker's at the top of the list. Like, if you just go down man for man and go, okay, how's this person? How's this person? Like, individually, unbelievably skilled. But, like you said, they have had consistency issues and leadership issues. On the other side, they're taking on Team Empire. And we saw Empire in action yesterday. And, you know, they're a team that's in search of an identity right now. I mean, whenever you look at their lineup, Solo, Always Wanna Fly, Scandal, Yoki, and Silent, you know, they've been going through a lot. There's been a whole lot of changes, not just on their own roster, but across the scene as a whole over the last month. This Empire squad has a hell of a legendary name. If they play to their potential, they could be as good as anyone on the planet if you've ever seen these players play up to that point.
Absolutely, and I think with this five that they have today that they had yesterday as well seems to be a much better fit for them. I think specifically Solo playing support is working out for them better. And they just looked a lot more crisp when you compare it to how they looked out of the gates in their first game in D2L.
All right, guys, we're just about ready to jump into the draft. It's about halfway done. I want to thank you again for joining us for the broadcast, and I'm sure we're going to have a lot more people rolling in, as stream did go up a little bit late today, and that's on me. I got hung up on the way to the office, and sleep is becoming a rare commodity, Trout, and I don't care. Like, and that's the thing. You can tell it's going to be a good match whenever you're exhausted, haven't slept a lot, and I'm still smiling ear to ear. So, game one of Team Tinker versus Empire starts right now. And moving right on in, we can see, about halfway through, give or take. Tinker lands themselves a Lycan and a Tidehunter to lead things off. Very strong, too. While Empire, well, they're going for lane control. They're going to start off with a Viper and a Skywrath Mage pick.
Yep, and the Venge ban actually coming up from Team Empire, which I do think is interesting coming from the west. Perhaps they want to pick up a Void for themselves. They do have a Skywrath Mage in second position, and Viper is a. I remember this thread actually in NA Dota a long time ago talking about. I think I mentioned this once before. How, the Chinese got it. It's the Viper DP Void thing. Like everyone's just picking these 3 heroes all the time and just running at towers and Rasta. And so I'm wondering if maybe they want a Void just simply because they banned out the Venge, and they have the nice combo with Skywrath Mage. So we'll have to see if they do that. And then Team Tinkerino, I like the 2 heroes a lot, Tidehunter and Lycan. I think that's perfectly fine. And yeah, it is Bulba, again, that is going to draft for them. So hopefully he's able to switch things up in their favor, because as you mentioned, they are 0-2.
Yeah, I want to say the last time we saw them, it was PyCat that was drafting. And the time before that, was it EGM? Something like that.
It's, at least maybe in D2L, yes. But I've seen them, I've watched them in other tournaments as well, and I'm pretty sure everyone has drafted, except maybe Sing Sing. I don't know if he's drafted.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about Sing Sing, to be honest. You know, Sing is one of those players that has a tremendously powerful following, has a lot of people, a lot of fans that are always rooting for him and keep up with him in a very close and personal way. And, you know, the chatter seems to be that they would like to see him return to a permanent mid position, but that's tough whenever you've got someone like Koikva on the team, when you've got someone like Bulba on the team, to just guarantee them mid, because those are 2 very excellent players, and especially the way mid's played right now, with it being as much a hard farming position as anything else on the map, that's really Koikva's domain. That's really where you see him do well, in solo laners that just want to chew creeps and just build tons of money. And it's an identity issue, I think. And Team Tinker has got to figure something out, because it's not just D2L play. They've really been struggling across the board.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it's crazy because, like, I mean, we always talk about how good it is to be versatile and being able to switch around this player for this hero and this role and things like that, which it is true. It is good to be versatile, but I feel like they're trying to be too versatile. Like they never have anything set in stone, so they're not getting too much practice in their respective roles. It's like it's way too sporadic about, Koik will be mid, then Koik will be safe lane farm, then he'll be off lane, then he'll be mid, then he'll be jungle, and that's just not Koik. Everybody, they switch around a lot, and again, it's not bad. It's just I feel like it's not helping them.
No, I agree. And, you know, it's, again, there's so much talent on this squad, but when you talk about Bulba, Koikva, and Sing Sing in particular, and I want to come to the draft here in just a minute. I'll make this last statement, then we'll actually talk about the Dota ahead of us. The Void pick did come out that you anticipated, and another very strong support pick in Empire. But, you know, when Bulba and Koikva played together on Team Liquid, what you saw was that you saw versatility without a whole lot of the sporadic play like you were talking about, like the fact that there is just nothing reliable going on in the way that they drafted. Now with Sing Sing, as big an addition as he is talent-wise, it does create a too many cooks in the kitchen situation, I think. So hopefully these players can figure it out, because when they're right, they are so good. It just, lately, they haven't been right that much. So Tinker grabbing the Shadow Demon and the Dazzle. I love the Shadow Demon Dazzle combination. Especially if they want to put something like a Mirana with it. Mirana has not been banned yet. In fact, I'd be a little shocked if Empire didn't ban her. No, they're going to ban the Kunkka. Okay. But being able to disrupt into a Sacred Arrow and then follow it with even just a level 1 Shadow Wave, you can burst heroes so ridiculously quickly, and it's an excellent way to put pressure on any lane. Yeah,
it definitely could be good. That is one of Sing Sing's favorite heroes. So, yeah, a Dazzle Shadow Demon. It's a combo that we used to see a lot of. Like, I want to say, actually, last season of D2L, I think it was picked up like all the time in season 4, and it was really good. And to be honest, I'm not quite sure why it went away. Just certain heroes kind of go through the motions, and they just kind of faded out a little bit. But it's really strong, because if you go on Dazzle, you can get disrupted by Shadow Demon. If you go on Shadow Demon, you can get healed by Dazzle or Graves. If they go on the other hero, they can get both.
Yeah.
So not to mention, the combo itself actually does a lot of damage if you're on the aggressive side, because you go into a disruption, you can huddle around that hero at level 1. You can even block him with just your own self if you walk properly.
Yep.
So they can't actually walk anywhere. And then the heal bomb on top of the illusions plus your hero is just a really devastating combo. So, and I think that they're good as they scale into the late game too.
Oh yeah, that's the thing too. Is it isn't just some little combination that is kind of a one trick wonder. that, one-hit wonder, rather, that you just use in the laning phase and you hope you get a lot done because then it stops being useful. Grave never stops being good. Disruption never stops being good. Demonic Purge never, ever stops being good. Soul Catcher never stops being good. I mean, these are all abilities that scale as well into the late game as anything. But these two heroes in particular, against what we see from Empire, I actually think outside of their own synergy, their own ability to put pressure on together, they're excellent against these heroes. Viper throws a Viper Strike. You can disrupt the target to buy time and force him to disengage. Faceless Void catches a primary hero inside of a Chronosphere. Disrupt the hero. Then if he comes out and he's still getting beat on for some reason, you grave him. Skywrath Mage, same thing. If there's a Mystic Flare and you're quick, you can save any hero from that. So you're talking a lot of burst damage, a lot of heroes that want to get out and just bring heroes down in short order. And you've got two very nice answers to that, on top of having a Ravage to reset the fight at any point. So they're going to have great roam. They're going to have the ability to take fights anywhere, and they're going to have the ability to counter-initiate very easily.
Yeah, Invoker last for Team Empire. We've been seeing a lot more Invoker, specifically in the Eastern scene. And Jakiro last for Team Tinker. So I'm curious to see who plays that again. It's kind of like people changing up things all the time for this lineup, and it's Bulba, so it's going to be a core. Or sorry, is it going to be a core Dazzle? So the core Shadow Demon, unless they're going to play Sing Sing as a support.
Yeah, right. I want to see. Yeah, I mean, running the Jakiro Shadow Demon Dazzle as a tri-lane, you can do that. In fact, it's very effective. It's a very tough tri-lane to bring down for all the reasons we just stated, on top of the fact that Jakiro is pretty damn survivable early on. And you also have, the ability to Ice Path instead of Arrow off of the Disrupt, and you can still drop the Heal Bomb after that. That's not that difficult to do. On the side of Empire, hang on. Actually, we're just in game, so we'll take a look at it from this point of view. Once again, welcome in on this Monday morning edition, Monday morning for us here on the West Coast, of the D2L, and 6 p.m. for our brothers and sisters out in Europe. And hope you guys have had a wonderful Monday and you're ready to settle in and enjoy the action here this evening. So, Bulba is heading, looks like it's going to be, I don't know, it's a lot of regen. Bulba's, they are going to tri-lane this down the bottom.
Yeah, and Bulba's going to be playing the core. So it's support on Sing Sing. This is what I'm talking about. They really want to change things up and try to find their groove, because it wasn't working before. So definitely changing things up this game with Sing Sing playing the 4/5. Koikfa is soloing top safe lane. I think they anticipated just the offlane the offlane Void with like a Viper tri-lane bottom or Invoker tri-lane bottom, but it looks like Empire is actually kind of dodging, and they're going to go top, which I think is really good for them. I don't think they want to put Void solo up against a Tide. Tide would do very, very well.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. But the thing I love the most about Jakiro running any kind of an aggressive position is he's going to get down here. He's going to see that he's up against a solo Viper, and they can try to kill him if they want, or they could just say, fine, we're just going to auto-attack creeps, and we're going to push with Liquid Fire. And they're going to be able to take a tier 1 very, very quickly. Then they can rotate to wherever they want to go and make things happen across the map and really keep Empire from settling into a comfortable laning phase. Bounty Rune spawns at bottom. That's an illusion at top. And we're underway. Game number 1 of Empire versus Team Tinker. As everyone heads the lane, let's see who's handling who. It'll be solo on our Skywrath Mage. The Ogre Magi going to be played by Always Wanna Fly. He's hiding out near the side shop in that top lane now. Scandal, no surprise. He's on the Invoker there in mid. But Yoki playing the off-lane Void. And Silent going to be dealing with his tri-lane down in the safe lane as Viper. On the other side, as mentioned, Bulba on the THD, the Jakiro. Koikfa going to be solo farming the Tide up in his safe lane. Sing Sing's going to be playing support this game on the Shadow Demon. It's going to be EGM on that Dazzle. Dazzle, I love that set. That's the set I use as well. And, of course, Lycan, going to be taken mid by Pycat.
Who's taking some harass from these illusions, which is really nice. He's going to free up some early farm, at least for the first wave or two. For Scandal, that was really bad. He was in this instance where he had to get 2 CS at the same time, but he missed them both. Kind of unfortunate. But, yeah, it is going to be this aggressive tri-lane for Empire. Where's the other hero? I'm having trouble finding him.
Disruption at bottom. Ice Path on the mark. Oh, no. Yeah, but anyway, I thought he was going to take Ice Path. Took Dual Breath, and there's that damage output we were talking about. And you can do it with a Sacred Arrow. You can do it with a Dual Breath. Hell, you can do it with an Ice Path if Jakiro had decided to skill that. Either way, that's a lot of damage and a dead Viper short of 2 minutes in. Well played.
Dual Breath is certainly the best level 1 ability to get in a lane like this.
Yeah.
And Viper has... he has no vision down here or above his tier 1, so he has to do absolutely nothing. Not a single point of experience for him. And if you remember, who was, I think it was LV Gaming actually we were casting, where they had a similar situation with the solo Viper that just had so much aggression under him, and he ended up going like 0-5 in 7 minutes.
It was Whisper.
Whisper,
it was
yeah.
Whisper. Yeah, that was the joke. It's like, oh look, it's been 120 seconds. Whisper should be dead again. And yeah, he was like 0-5.
He might be dead again right here.
So dead. Oh, he's so dead. They don't even need Bulba for this. Look at that. Perfect trap. He's going to try to eat his way out. It doesn't matter. And it's so easy to do. Like, this is the kind of thing that's so fun to try to do in pubs because it really doesn't take much to be able to execute it. And we see Solo has made his way down with a haste rune, trying to harass and just trying to do anything to free this lane up. But I actually like the decision of Bulba here, too. Like, they could be getting these kills and trying to push the tower with the power of Liquid Fire. Instead, he's just got a balanced build, 1-1-1, and he just got it pulled back in as safe a position as you could ask. And he's just farming away now. And I dig this. I think Team Tinker is doing extremely well, and they're going to want to keep this lane together as long as they can. They've already forced out one rotation.
There's a lot of CS being missed just freely here by some of the players. Like I saw Bulba miss several right there, which again it's kind of nitpicky. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but you want to get every single last one that you can, especially in free farming lanes. And always want to fly, trying to disrupt the pull of Koikfa. So nice pull by Koikfa, and I will say at the very least they're putting action onto him. I guess Void is level 4. If he gets some nice bashes.
Oh,
he'll have to get like 2 bashes, but they're going for it.
He's actually doing a really nice job of blocking him there. Yoki looking for... Oh, he got one, but it was a little too close to the tower. Got a bottom and once again going to engage on Silent, and he's dead. Yeah. That's a killing spree for Sing Sing on that Shadow Demon. He may not be taking the farm, but he sure is killing like a core. And you know, just think how, like, up at top, for example, they kill this Tide Hunter if the Skywrath Mage is there. So the fact that they've already forced him to rotate to bottom and they're still dominating Silent and keeping him off the board. He doesn't have a single CS. That's how dominant they've been in the first 4 minutes. So they've already not only won this lane, they're securing the Tide a ton of room at top. He's in great shape. He's sitting at level 3.5. His CS is actually about middle of the pack at 7. He's the most. He has the most CS for any non full-time farming hero, like the Lycan, etc., etc., etc. And yeah, I think this is just brilliant laning and drafting out of Team Tinker this time.
Oh, he is dead again.
Ice Path this time. Look at this. Shadow Wave is so strong off of that. They may get Sing Sing in return, but even if they do, it's certainly worth the trade. And, you know, Always Wanna Fly's taking a ton of creep damage. He just rushed through the creeps. He's dead. No doubt about it. They may get Bulba. If they can get Bulba, it might be worthwhile. Scandal may end up dead here. He's burning down very quickly. Here comes Solo. Sing Sing hiding out, using the urn that he's already purchased. And, okay, Solo. All right. That... Wow. What? I got nothing, man. You go ahead.
Shadow Demon, Shadow Priest, or Dazzle, I should say. Pretty strong stuff, and this is exactly what I talked about, man. When we saw the last time they had a solo Viper with aggression coming his way. Oh, they're gonna put action on the EGM. He does have a grave if he takes too much.
A little bit of miscommunication that time. Disruption in front of the Ice Path. Now we've got 3-on-3. EGM is just playing ultra aggressive. The fact that Sing already has an urn and still has a charge on it is huge, by the way. And I mean, just think how much that tanks him up. You know, it doesn't seem like much, but a Shadow Demon that's not even level 3 yet has an urn already and brown boots. That makes him such a threat, and so, like, usually you think of Shadow Demon as like, well, okay, yeah, he's a bastard, but if we get on top of him, we can kill him really easily. Now he's actually got some tank to him. And they take the tier 1 bottom, and now they're freed up to go wherever they want. They can pressure the Void, they can try to collapse mid, and Empire has to be totally on the defensive for the foreseeable future now.
Yeah, it's actually really smart laning from Bulba because, well, just draft, but mostly laning because he's going aggressive tri-lane. If Empire even went safe lane tri-lane, again, it sets up a better matchup in your solo lanes. Like Lycan would be fine, so solo 1v1 against Invoker, like more than fine. In fact, I think you'd actually get more CS just because he does more damage. And that forces you to have a Tide versus a melee lane in their safe lane. And Tide wants that. And they still win their bottom lane. And if they don't, this is what happens. They crush their bottom lane. Tide doesn't really get killed. The only way Empire could have laned this better is having a solo Void and a tri-lane top with Viper. That's the only way it would have been even better. But I don't even think that the Void lives in that situation. So I really like Bulba's drafting here. I think it's much better than what we've seen before.
3-man smoke. They want to collapse on Silent again. Let's see. They drop a ward. They can go mid or they can go on the Viper. Yep, they're going on Silent. He's dead. So ridiculously dead. Ice Path, Shadow Wave, Dual Breath, Liquid Fire. That's a killing spree on 2 heroes out of this bottom lane as Tinker is just piling it on. Make it 7-0. They've averaged 1 kill a minute every minute since the game began. And now, again, Bulba just going to be happy to sit down here by himself for the moment. They're going to collapse and begin to potentially put pressure on mid. Silent's back in lane. Silent has 10 CS right now. 10 CS.
Yep. Not too good. And like I said, Invoker is actually trailing pretty heavily in CS compared to the Lycan. Did go bottom, rotate, as you mentioned, almost died there, actually. And he tried to throw out a level 1 tornado. Oh, God. EGM actually might die.
He had Grave. He didn't use it. There's going to be the macro pyro, though. Scandal came into a hot LZ. There's going to be a Ravage coming from Koikva as well. They managed to get solo and one in mid. There's going to be the Chrono, though, so Sing Sing should be brought down. Pycat hanging just outside of it, but Koikva's going to chase him down. Now Yoki likely to drop. Well-placed Ice Path from Bulba. That makes it a double kill for the Jakiro. And Bulba still might be caught out. Yeah, it looks like Always Wanna Fly is going to get the return kill there. Showing up at level 5 on an Ogre, so it's not like he has been short on levels. It's an absolute war zone. 13 kills in 8 minutes. Scandal comes back in. Koikva and Sing Sing are still up front. Fire Blast onto the Tidehunter. Scandal's going to follow it up. Gets the Cold Snap off. There's going to be a disruption onto the Invoker to buy some time, though. And they should deny this tower, one would think. Yep.
Nope.
No! Oh, wow. That's a little bit of free gold. If there's anything good going, I guess it's the fact that Silent's getting some farm finally. Void does complete an 8-minute Midas, so not bad from him either, but I don't think we're going to see this back off anytime soon. Team Tinker just wants to keep this pressure up, and again, with Bulba, level 7, max Liquid Fire already, he just wants to push towers.
Well, I told you if I don't agree with Midas ever, I'll tell you, and I don't agree with this Midas from Void at all. Like, at all. Midas against a heavy pushing lineup that's already just kind of snowballed is not going to get you anywhere. I don't think. Like, if they were pushing without the Jakiro, I would say maybe, because then you could last out. But they don't have that great D push, to be honest. The thing I fear is, okay, if Midas is okay if you have good high ground defense and they can't break into your base on specifically the high ground very well. But Team Tinker can. They have Ravage. They have to jump in your face. They have Lycan. They have the Jakiro. So I'm not a fan of this Midas this game.
Well, somebody on the side of Empire is going to have to carry the water at some point, right? And there's going to be an EMP. EGM jumped upon and couldn't get lining up for the animation, but unable to do so. But anyway, you know, you've got your Viper who's completely been taken out of the game. He's caught up a little bit in CS just because he stayed away from the action, but he's still fairly under-leveled, and he's certainly nowhere near where he wants to be. So if he's under-leveled, the Invoker's being out-farmed by the Lycan pretty bad in mid, and then your other core is actually the one doing well, and he goes Midas, who's going to be there to hold the game together for the next 10 minutes? Like, that's kind of my issue with it. And Pycat has already gone into the pit. He's gotten very early Vlads and going to work on the big boy.
Well, it's certainly going to pay off if you can get free kills like that on EGM. Like, that was a complete freebie that totally bounces them back in the game, actually. That was a really big deal. They are doing Roshan, as you mentioned. Relatively slow. Solo walks in with an invis. I don't even know if you saw him take that invis, actually. Because they actually don't have any wards. But that's stifled now, and Pyket's kind of wasted his time as a result.
Bulba working on a Yules. Should have it up soon. They're going to go ahead and send everybody in. Koikva does have his Blink Dagger already, though. And does have Ravage at the ready. Solo's got eyes on him, however. Let's see him hiding out. It's pinged out. And this Roche is dropping quickly with that medallion. And yeah, they're just going to give it up for free. They had a chance to challenge it and just flat out didn't.
Solo? Your invis is wearing off. I would be careful. Okay, that was really close.
There's off a concussive shot just to say, yeah, I was there. I saw it.
And yeah, as you mentioned, Viper is catching up a little bit. But yeah, same thing as the game with CDEC, I think, or LV. He was 0-5-0. So it hasn't contributed yet, but taken a lot of damage and pressure. And in that game, it didn't work out. He couldn't bounce back, so we'll see.
Yep. 0-5 for him, 0-1 on the Invoker. And 2-1 on the Void's really the bright spot, but Yoki's still going to take some time. He does have, well, hell, he's going to have up his Mask of Madness soon, so It's not as if he's going to be completely without value. They are going to collapse top, and this is going to be very important. If they are going to force a fight, Koikva, missed by the tornado, again, has Blink Ravage. And if they're going to commit to this, they have to win. Like, they can't afford to lose another fight. It looks like, yeah, they're just going to... Are they waiting on creeps or are they going to go? Yeah, they're bailing out. They know this is way too sketchy of a situation. And if they lose another fight, the game could be all but over very quickly.
Well, and Light can split pushing bottom, so this is a really good position for Team Tinker. Light can just keep sitting down here. As soon as they show their faces up top, he'll come back towards the bottom lane. But if they don't, he just farms their jungle. And if they do show up bottom, then this gives the rest of the people up top, tips them off and tells them to go push, and that's what they're doing.
And there's the Yules from Bulba to save himself his mana off the EMP. Does take a Fire Blast multicast and a bit of damage. And I think they should just slow push this. They have an excellent team at responding to being engaged into. And they know that the Void's not there. He TP'd bottom, doesn't have the TP in his inventory now. So they know he's not on the way anytime soon. And Bulba can just wear this tower out with Liquid Fire over the next, minute or so.
Yep, I mean, you got EGM behind him, you got Sing Sing behind him. Everybody but the Lycan. And he's actually rotated towards mid to get some extra farm. And I imagine he'll be well on his way to his Necro, if that's what he wants, which I think he should get. And yeah, Team Tinker's just, they're in a really good spot. Again, their draft and just their lane decisions were far better than Empire's.
Gonna buy some time with the illusions, but... Yeah, Void is split pushing on his own now. And I don't know what Silent's going to do. He doesn't quite have the mech yet. He's going to throw out a Viper Strike on the EGM. And the tower will be destroyed by Jakiro. So 4 heroes around and no deny. At bottom, Yoki is trying to put a push on. This tower has been relatively untouched, though. And they have a glyph. There's going to be a response. And they're just going to hang on to their glyph for the moment. So Pycat gets there in time. And they could just continue to push down this lane, I think. Like, if you make them group up as far behind as they are, what are they going to do? I mean, you can just continue to whittle them down. And the moment they commit, you ravage.
Yep, and then again, it's, there's the Yules.
EMP down, Macro Pyre down. That's going to melt the creeps down. Always want to fly, just walking around in the Macro Pyre. He may end up dead from that. Now they're going to come back out. Beautiful Chrono Spear from Yoki. However, the Ravage caught them all. And there's the disruption to save EGM. Now Yoki has to run. Another Ice Path, only going to catch Scandal, but they are willing to turn it around. And Solo dies to an Anchor Smash, as I have no idea how he got so hemmed up in there. And now, Team Tinker goes, okay, you don't have Chrono, we don't have Ravage, and we're going to win if you fight. So let's push the tower again. And at bottom, Pycat is split pushing. This is miserable. This must feel like death by 1,000 cuts. I mean, like, what do you even do?
Well, they had a nice opening there by the Void. It was a really good Chrono, but the Void it was a really nice counter Ravage from Koikva. They didn't have the burst to follow up. Like, Skywrath isn't level 6 yet. So, in fact, he's only level 4. He has nothing. There's a Yules on a Silent. Koikva coming in. That could be a feed by Koikva. He's got to be very careful.
Disruptions there. Grave is ready if needed. And there goes the Macro Pyre. Koikva staying up front. And he's going to be hit by the Tornado. He does end up dead because of it. Now it looks like they finally might have a chance to push them back. EGM's going to be the next to die. Ice Path from Bulba. Throws out the Dual Breath next. And hit from behind with an Ignite, and he is being slowed, so Bulba had a chance to get out and ends up feeding himself. Down at bottom, we can see the Void trying to stultify Pycat. I didn't see. Did Pycat get that tower?
Yeah.
Okay, so Pycat gets the kill on the tower regardless. So they end up giving up 3 at top, and a nice little miniature win for Empire, but still, they did lose their bottom tower. And taking a look at the gold, yeah, you can see that was very much a win for them. About a 1,500 gold win. And Tinker, though, I don't know. That's a big spike in expanse. Not even that big, though. I mean, it's only 1,500 in favor of Empire now. But do you think that Empire is playing their way back into it? I mean, they still... No, the Aegis was fed by Pycat, actually.
I think Team Tinker is playing their way out of it. Like,
yeah,
that was
thinking the same
that was
thing.
ridiculous. I don't know why they fed like that. Koikwood went in, just blink Anchor Smash for no reason. And there was no reason to do that. The push was over. They didn't have Ravage. They didn't have... someone else already left up there. I think it was... the Dazzle? Someone was already gone. Oh, EGM feeds up another free one.
Yep.
So, yeah.
He was caught by a Tornado in mid. They followed it up well. Yeah, I agree. Like, I feel like Team Tinker was playing so well, and then all of a sudden they give up 3 heroes and an Aegis, and that lead is all but evaporated, and Silent's about to have his mech.
Yeah, that was just a really weird reinitiation by Koikfa just with a blink anchor smash. So, and then it actually cost them. And then yeah, these all little free pickoffs here for Empire, like pretty big because, like I said, their base defense isn't that good. I guess Invoker's not too bad because he's Quas Wex, but that's about it. But if they're getting some free kills bouncing back with Midas on their side, then they could easily come back with this.
What Team Tinker needs to do is get the initiative back in their favor. They're going to try to do that here. There's a tornado. Ice Path does go off nonetheless. Pycat going to go into his ulti form. Koikfa's there. Doesn't have enough mana for Ravage, but it looks like they want a chance. It doesn't even have enough mana to proc his Arc Boots. There we go. EGM willing to help him out a bit there. And they're going to push on through. This is what I was talking about, getting the initiative back. If you make Empire get under a tower and wait on you, then you can just spread your heroes out, let Bulba sit up front by himself, and just whittle towers down with liquid fire. And then he's the only Chronosphere target. And, you know, we saw what happened last time he tried to throw a Chrono. As good as it was, they got nothing out of it. Koikfa lands, and Yoki just hanging and banging for now. Looks like he will go ahead and pull back, though.
Yeah, I imagine the next Chrono, though, will be a little bit more effective because Empire or Solo just hit level 6. And if you look at the heroes, that's pretty much the only one that can combo with the Void. It is a good one. Invoker is actually not the best combo with Quas Wex because you have to use your only your EMP. You don't want to use your Tornado in the Chronosphere. We've seen that before. It's just not effective. No one else can hit the heroes when they're up in the air like that.
CTY.
Yeah, exactly.
Always want to fly, caught by Pycat and Bulba. And the macro oh, good wolf blocking just to make sure he has no chance to get away. And Pycat will be the one to take the kill. Very easily done with a double damage rune. In the meantime, Silent still trying to put some pressure on mid. And did he buy his recipe? If he didn't, it should be up soon. Yep, there's going to be a Chrono. This time they get EGM. There's the combo. Tornado splits the wickets, doesn't find anyone behind the fight, but they end up going support for support. And now Pycat's going to charge out. Koikfa still has his blink. I don't think he can catch him, though. There's a Ice Path onto Silent. What was Silent doing there? The rest of his team bailed, and he was just caught by himself and ends up being a free kill.
Yeah, I don't know, actually. I think he was Yulesed by Bulba. Yeah, the Yules is on cooldowns. And Bulba's actually going for a pipe, which is very good here. I think they need a mech, too. Do they have someone with a mech on their team? No. I really think mech is going to be fantastic for them. But they don't go for it. If this was a Chinese team, that Tide would have mech for sure. And no blink.
Oh, yeah. He'd have a 4-staff and a mech.
Yeah, actually, I mean, the blink is amazing, but mech is so good in this team. Because they have double arc boots, so they're not going to have to worry about EMP too much. They'll have the mana to cast it.
Tornado toss. Trying to spam them out. Pycat taking some damage here. Has his book 3 down. And just look at this, how quickly this tier 3 is dropping just at sub 20 minutes. Demonic Purge on the Scandal. But no follow-up. And now there's going to be an initiation. Disruption. On to Silent. He's trapped. There's no follow-up. Now there's a Ravage. Got Silent and Always Want to Fly. Koikfa, not short on pulling the trigger. For better or for worse, that time for better. And that's going to be the range racks down. Big difference in the West and the East. We've been casting East. The East, it takes 1 racks and runs. The West says no, we want both.
Yep. Yeah, that's so true.
And Koikfa catches an ulti, but there's a shallow grave to save him. Pycat re-engages, caught by a multicast on the Fire Blast, however. Does follow it up. There's a disruption. Do they want to do anything? Yep, Ice Path to follow. Always Want to Fly down again. Here comes beautiful Chronosphere. EGM's down. They're going on Koikfa next. Bulba can't save him. I can. Never mind. Thought his Jules was on cooldown. Ice Path. Oh no, Cold Snap means Bulba's going to end up dead because of it. And down he goes. So, Empire loses racks, but they get a little bit on the way of parting shots. And Tinker takes a much more commanding lead now, even though Empire did make up a bit of ground just with the return kills at the end.
And I like the decision. I'm assuming Bulba made it by just saying, let's go 5. Go 5-man mid. We can't afford to just have some supports get picked off, or just do something silly around the map. We need to be deliberate about using our heroes correctly. And it clearly paid off. Like I said, Empire's D-push is not very good. It's basically Invoker. And you saw if he misses his spells, he casts a Tornado EMP, they dodged it, and then they just walk in. There's absolutely nothing Empire could do. short of a chronosphere, but that wasn't even that effective because it came out late. So I do think that Mech is still very, very good for Team Tinker. There's a 4-staff here, I'm assuming, coming up from EGM, which is fine, but Mech would be great. They are taking the second row shot, though.
Yep, Pycat already has a Hyperstone up. Looks to be on his way to an Assault Cuirass. Adds his second Aegis of the game to his inventory at 22 minutes in. And this one looks like could be over if Empire doesn't start winning fights very, very soon. They're Team Tinker, like, this is what we've, you know, whenever you think of Team Tinker playing well, this is how it tended to look whenever they were playing well a few weeks ago. They just routed people. They just came in with these great lineups, these great lane choices, excellent individual skill, and they seem to all be farmed. And then they just ran them over. And you know, right now, I think they're just going to rush bottom again. Like, they're going to see a top. It's like, oh, they're split pushing. Big deal. We have a Lycan with the book 3. Like, they're not going to out push us. And if they don't send everybody home right now, they're going to lose another tier 3 in about literally 8 seconds. They don't have a glyph.
And Bulba just is getting his pipe right now. This is so good. So good for them.
Pycat up front by himself. Bulba's going to come up, gets a liquid fire off. I'm surprised Bulba's playing as far in front as he is. I feel like he should be back a bit. Pipe is going to be deployed. The creeps are helping to finish off the tower. And there's going to be a multicast. In the meantime, tier 3's down. Silent comes down into the ice path after being used. Gets up a Viper Strike, but does end up dying behind him. Pycat still has his Aegis and still has a lot of health, as well as a lot of support behind him. And it looks like Yoki actually did manage to grab the Tidehunter behind that. There's going to be a Chrono, and he's going to finish off EGM on his own. Pycat, again, still has Aegis. The Viper is down. They're going to try to turn it around and go to work on Scandal, and Scandal just got hung up in the creeps and ended up being the second of a double kill for Pycat. And this is going to be the second set of racks. Yoki did about all he could there. He got the Tide from behind. I didn't see how. I thought he had expanded the Chronosphere. I just saw Quigpa dropping. But the Chrono then came out, and he got a couple of kills too. And Empire in dire straits, and wow, Solo gonna get, look at that, just getting chunked. The Wolves might be able to finish him if they can catch him. One more will do. Nope, there's a mech in the meantime. Sing Sing ate a multicast. Now here comes Yoki back in. And nice ice pet to save Sing Sing. He got hung up in the creeps that time. And they will go ahead and retreat, but they can just reset, wait on Ravage, and then do it again down top.
Yep, because they still have the Aegis, too. Pycat kind of blocked himself with his own wolves there, which is unfortunate. Smoke coming out. Pycat actually might lose it. They're actually just going to call it as they find Pycat.
I was, knowing this Empire squad, I was actually shocked they didn't call it about the time they lost their first hero down at bottom. Like,
yeah, I know.
Empire does not wait on calling their GGs most of the time. Team Tinker gets their doubleheader off to a good start with a sub 25-minute win over Empire. And it all began and ended with poor Silent. 1-9-4 on that Viper.
Yep. I mean, the draft was very, very nice from Bulba. And the decision to go aggro Thailand, like I mentioned, like they forced them to put like a bad situation against the Tidehunter in the safe lane. And Tidehunter in the safe lane is much more effective at keeping his distance and not dying than a Viper. Like Viper's, like, yeah, corrosive skin's good once you get levels into it, and once you have a certain amount of farm to couple the magic immunity or magic resistance with your HP. But level 1, he only has level 1 of it, which is very good. And he's one of the slower heroes in the game. He's like 285 movement speed, I think. So it was a very nice draft from Bulba and good lane assignment.
Go try it in your pubs, kids. Me and my best buddies used to love the Shadow Demon, Dazzle, Mirana. Now I want to try it with the Jakiro, because Jakiro's, I don't know, like those 3 heroes are like my 3 favorite heroes in the game. Like seriously, I'd love to play all 3 of them a lot. But Tinker, we'll see if they can get their hands on it again or if they care to. Empire needs to get something working in game 2, or they have a chance to fall to 1 and 2. Certainly not where they want to be as they approach the middle of their record in D2L Western play. Thanks for being a part of the broadcast, guys. We're going to be gone for about 5 minutes, give or take, maybe a little bit more as we wait to get Game 2 underway, Team Tinker versus Empire. Make sure in the meantime, if you need any information at the D2L.gg, you can find everything you want about the tournament, past VODs, current standings, information about the grand finals, which, by the way, if you're in the vicinity of Vegas, are free to attend. You just show up, and we let you in, and then you hang out and watch it. Really cool. But yeah, all of that info over at d2l.gg. And for all of your D2L updates, make sure you check out D2LGG on Facebook and Twitter. I'm AC, and that's Strauff. We'll be back here in just a moment. Game 2 of Team Tinker vs. Empire. Stick